this is what people will not tell you about fat loss, and is probably the biggest factor in terms of actually getting results in the long term. So you can look for the most optimal strategy for fat loss, the best macro split, protein intake requirements, how should you spread that across the day, and just get lost in this noise of overthinking everything, when actually people are so different. I've coached hundreds of people, and I can tell you firsthand that some people's hunger level is going to be higher in the morning. Some people can easily just skip meals in the morning and do intermittent fasting and just have their calories in the afternoon. Some people are going to have completely different routines. Work schedules can be completely different. Lifestyles can be completely different. How they want to spread their calories across the week. So some people might want to go a little bit lower during the week and save calories for the weekend. Some people want more of an even split. So the biggest factor really with fat loss is basically trial and error to find a way that you can adhere to and be consistent over time. And unfortunately, this is only really done in practice. Like, you have to just get used to trying different things and putting it into practice yourself. So people will spend so much time researching the optimal ways of doing things and finding the best fat loss strategies, and I'm not doubting that there are some tactics that are very beneficial. So for example, a high protein, high fruit and veg diet keeps you more full, drinking more water, leveraging things like 0 calorie soft drinks, tactics that we can use to basically keep ourselves full when we're looking at a fat loss diet. These are all completely valid strategies. However, what I would say is you have to go out there, put things into practice yourself, try what works for you. I've got some clients that say they cannot get through the morning without eating, and some clients that can easily skip meals, right? So just speaking to different people, coaching different people, I can tell you that there are so many differences between individuals. So what would I recommend for you? Well, I think you got to first of all try some smaller meals spread out evenly across the day. So having smaller portion sizes and having more like a breakfast, lunch and dinner, high protein at each meal, more fruit and veg, so that you're going to be more full. But then if you find that you're struggling to keep to your calorie goals doing this, then you could then try and transition into something like intermittent fasting, which basically just means not really having breakfast. So if you start skipping breakfast, saving your calories for later in the day, this is what I will often do on a fat loss phase, and that's the only way that I'm going to basically keep to my calories, because I know if I start eating in the morning, I won't stop. And if I'm buying foods that I'm going to snack on, I'm just going to tear through them, and I've got no self-control with that. So I would rather personally skip breakfast and then save my calories for the afternoon. Another strategy you can consider, try out for yourself, is if you've got social stuff, usually at the weekends, if you're eating out with friends, family, it's really boring if you're eating just chicken, rice and broccoli all day, and living in a cave and never seeing any of your friends and family. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. But what I would say is basically save more calories for the days where you are eating out with friends, loved ones, whether that be the weekend, whether you usually go for food midweek as well. And on those days that you're doing stuff and not just staying in after work, save more calories for those days. Your average calories is what matters for the week, so you could go a little bit lower on the days where you are not really doing much, and then maybe you find this easier to stick to if you have some higher calorie days. What you could also do is on those days where you're looking to socialize, you're looking to eat meals out, you can basically drop your calories a little bit on the other meals. So for example, let's say I'm going out for food with my partner, with my girlfriend or family. What I'll do is, say we're going for lunch, I'll save most of my calories for that meal in the day. Maybe dinner becomes a little bit lighter, protein based dinner, reducing the carb portions a little bit, or having less in the morning. And similarly, if I was going out for dinner, I would save more calories for that meal in the day. So these are the tactics that you can start giving it a go. I would also say choose the meals that you enjoy the most, right? So if you're seasoning your food, making it taste better, you're probably going to stick to it more in the long term. And picking the protein sources that you enjoy the most. You need to just start basing each meal around a protein source, finding a way of structuring your meals across the day that suits you as an individual. And the only way you're going to do this is through trial and error. So give it a go. Find a way of eating that suits you. Try saving some calories for high calorie days. Try having more even calories across the week. Try different protein sources. Try different carb sources. It's a good option to pick really filling foods when you're in a fat loss phase. So those tweaks that we talked about in terms of more volume of food, maybe looking at things like oats, potatoes that are super filling to complement your protein and fruit and veg habit, drinking more water. These things will help, but don't lose sight of the fact that you can search for all these hacks and look for shortcuts, but the only way you're going to figure out what you can adhere to and be consistent with in the long term is through you putting it into practice. I hope you found these practical tips useful. Drop it a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you very soon.